so we're on to round 13, and after all these front posts, we're gonna do a simple round. Remember, like I told you last time, these guys should not be straight. They're starting to curve, so don't worry if they're doing that. That's exactly what they should be doing. So we're gonna grab our aqua color, same one that we did here in the center, and we're gonna go ahead and join in any of these front post stitches. Just gonna join in, draw up a loop, do our single, or our chain stitch, but this counts as a single crochet right here. This one's again going to be one of those simple rows, a lot of single crochets with an increase thrown in. Spacing out the increase, we're going to start with 3 single crochets. So that's the first one there, our chain stitch. Now 2, 3. After that, we're going to put in an increase, so 2 in the same stitch. Again, remember, always in the back loop for everything here. 1, 2, there's our increase. And now we're going to do 7 more single crochet. 1, and there's a knot in my yarn. That sucks. Well, for this demonstration, I'm just going to keep going with it. Normally I would cut the yarn and start over, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now you notice when we're done with this repeat, we're all set for our next stitch to go into the front post. That's what it should be. That's where we started in the first place. So for our repeat, which we're going to do 8 times, it's going to be 3 single crochet, an increase, and then 7 single crochet. So we'll do it one more time together. 3 single crochet, now an increase. Sorry, my yarn is bunching up on me. An increase, so 2 in the same stitch, nothing fancy there. And now 7 more, and if we do this right, we should be all set to do our next stitch in the front post. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Look at that, right before the front post. So we're all ready, and there's my tail. I just basically finished hiding that in the stitches. So we're ready to continue around. You want to repeat that 6 more times. So you go all the way around. Again, it is 3 single crochet, an increase, and then 7 more single crochet. Go ahead and I'll see you for the next round. All right, on to round 14. And this is the round we're going to start doing some spike stitches to make these sort of simple rounds a little bit more interesting. So we're going to connect and join in the dark blue yarn. You want to find one of the increases from the previous round. I got one right here. And we're going to join in on the second stitch of the increase, not the first one. I think everything we've done so far has been first stitch. This one's going to be second stitch. So I'm going to join in with our chain stitch, and that's going to count as our first single crochet. So for this round, like I said, we're going to introduce spike stitches where we're going to alternate a single crochet and a spike stitch. Spike stitch is basically just an elongated single crochet. Instead of going into this loop or even both loops, we're going to jump down and actually go in under the single crochet from the previous round. So we're just going to go draw up our loop. Now just make sure you bring it up to the top so that you have that extra yarn so we don't pinch it off. And now just finish your single crochet. That's a spike stitch, that's it. So for this round, we're going to do that 4 times. So single crochet, spike, again and again 4 times. So that's 1. Here's our second pair again for the spike stitch. Make sure you don't go into the one you just did. You want to go over 1 stitch, not the back loop, not the front loop, all the way down under it. Bring that up. Finish the single crochet. That gives us 2. And we want 4. So here's 3. all the way underneath for the spike. And 4. Now we really are just doing this alternating thing all the way around, but next we want to put in an increase. So that's the only reason that it sort of breaks it up a little bit. So we have 4 of them, single crochet spike 4 times. Next up, we got an increase. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch in the back loop. Now we're going to continue with this alternating spike single crochet thing. This counts as our single crochet, the increase, so our next stitch is going to be a spike. We're going to do a single crochet and then a spike. And if you notice, I'm going into this increase. That first part's going to be the spike. And now we're all set up to start our repeat, going into the second stitch in the increase. That's why we started in the second one. So the way this works, again, you notice in the end it just looks like alternating spike and single crochet. So the way it works, we're going to do single spike, single spike, single spike, single spike. That's 4 times. Then our increase right here, then spike, single, spike, just to finish out that set. 8 times all the way around. We're going to do this one together again. Notice I'm starting on the second stitch in the increase. That's my single crochet. Spike, that's 1, 2, 3. Can straighten those stitches out so they lie a little nicer. 3. And 4. For the next stitch, we're going to do an increase. So instead of just 1 single crochet, we're going to throw 2 in that stitch. And to finish off our little set, we're going to go continuing the pattern with a spike. Helps if you actually bring the yarn through like that. And now 1 more single crochet spike. And you notice I'm going into that increase from the previous round. Straighten that up. And I'm all ready to start the next set by going into that second stitch in the increase. So here, take a look at it. So you notice again here, we're going to do the single crochet spike combination, single spike, single spike, single spike, single spike. That's 4 times. Then throw our increase in, continue with the spike, single spike, and that finishes it out. So complete that pattern all the way around, making sure to throw these increases in where we indicated, and that's it. All right, we're on to round 15. We're going to join in our magenta color or our dark purple color here. We're going to do some more stitches that lay on top of the others, but not front posts like we were doing here. We're just going to do regular treble crochet stitches, but hook into one of these front loops down here. To start the round, look for an increase. It's often where we start. And we're going to start in the second stitch of the increase. So join your yarn with a chain. That'll count as our first single crochet for this first repeat. So for the repeat, what we're going to do is 5 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we want a treble crochet stitch that's going to go into, let me get my hook here, into the center of these white ones here. But if you count, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. There isn't an exact center, so we're going to go into the 5th one over. So if I get it here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one right here, kind of between these two spikes, we're going to go into that front loop for our treble crochet. So remember, when you're going into one of these front loops, grab it from the bottom up to the top. Make sure your stitch is loose enough that it doesn't pull everything down and create sort of a bump. We're going to skip this one and do an increase into the next one. Now again, we're going to do another treble crochet right back into that exact same stitch, the white one that we did before. So go from bottom to top into the same one. Finish out the treble crochet. And you notice we have this V shape that's formed. So we're going to skip this one and finish out the repeat with 5 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And since we started on the second stitch of an increase, you notice we finished this repeat on the first stitch of the increase. So we know that we're right set up to start the next repeat in the exact same spot the way we should. So remember, for this we've got 5, the treble crochet, an increase, treble crochet, and 5 more. So let's do this one together again. We're going to do 5 single crochet, let's do our treble crochet into that 5th one over. Now if you recall, it was kind of between these two, but I'll check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's right there. I think I just yarned over once, right? I want to yarn over twice. Grab it. It's my tail from when I started the yarn. We'll keep that back there. So there's my treble. We're going to skip one, do my increase here, do another treble crochet into the same white stitch as the first one, and finish skipping one with 5 more single crochet. If we did this right, when I get to my 5th one here, it should be into the first stitch of the increase, so I can start the next repeat in the 2nd stitch. So that's it right there. It's going to create these V shapes all the way around that we'll connect up to later on. So if you see here again, we have 5 single crochet, the treble into the 5th one of the white ones, an increase, another treble into that 5th one, 5 more. And remember, for both these treble crochets, skip the stitch in the back. So 5 treble crochet, skip 1, increase, treble crochet, skip 1, 5. There you go.